Hello again. We're experiencing a really bad cyclone at the moment, and I survived the night very well. I have been rocking and rolling in such a big way. I almost need to put on some 1950s clothes to get me in the swing of it, so to speak. But I've been thinking a little bit about that no one gives us the rules for getting old. We don't have a pamphlet that sets out some guidelines, unfortunately. A bit like that all through life, I know, but especially with getting old. And now I've reached an age where I'm actually the oldest family member, which is great, isn't it? And I'm the oldest of my friends. So I haven't got somebody that I can call up and say, hey, did this ever happen to you? So I'm hoping that if I can share some of these things with you, then it won't come as a surprise when it happens to you. Now, the first thing is the loss of muscle mass. I didn't even know it was a thing. All I remember is that, probably about 8 years ago now, I went to sit down on a concrete step and expected my well-endowed butt to actually cushion the fall. And I was quite shocked because instead of it being nice and soft, sort of came down on a hard thump on the cold concrete. And that was a shock. And I was thinking, what's happened? Have I lost weight? What's happening here? Didn't think much more. Well, I did think about it, but never thought that it had a name or there was a reason for it. You just put these things down to old age, don't you? All sorts of things happen and you think, oh, it's just old age. But is it? Half the things that happen to you, you're not even sure if they're old age or if they're, something serious and you're going to die. Frequently, I'm sure you can relate. Frequently, you'll get aches and pains and you'll think to yourself, what the heck is this now? What's happening to me now? And then sometime later, it was probably quite a few months later, I was at a bookstore and I just squatted down quickly to get to the bottom shelf, which is something I've always been able to do, and got the book and stood up. Well, I went to stand up and I couldn't. I was cast. I was stuck there forever, it seemed. So I had to grab a shelf and haul myself up. And I'm thinking, why can't I stand up? I tell you, those sort of things really hit you hard because you suddenly think, what's happened to me? So although I was working my muscles, I thought I was getting plenty of exercise by walking up and down stairs in the house, which were quite steep, and I was gardening. Obviously, I wasn't working some muscles, like the muscles in my thigh. And so it's only been recently, actually, that I realised that it was this loss of muscle mass and strength, which it just comes with older age. The body starts to draw on the muscle to provide the nutrition that it needs. But there must be other reasons, and I'm no doctor, so I can't advise you or explain it. All I know is how I feel and what's happening to me. So I can only pass on what I've found out and what I'm trying to do about it. So one of the things you can do is you can increase the protein in your diet. That's, eggs, fish, poultry, lean meats, that sort of thing. And at that time, when in hindsight, I realised that I'd actually cut out a lot of red meats and cut down the amount of meat of any type, protein, that I was actually eating. So that obviously had an effect on it. Plus, I wasn't doing like aerobic exercises like lunges, things like that, which would help the thigh muscles. So finally, at my age now, I'm starting to look closely at my diet and looking at finding some just gentle exercises I can do to strengthen those muscles that are slowly letting me down. And I can't have that. And if you're vegan, say, for example, you can have tofu, lentils, beans, that type of thing. But certainly search some and get some advice on what you can do to increase your muscle mass. The best thing to do anyway, with all these sort of things that happen, I can't advise you about what to do and what not to do, but I do stress the importance of not letting it go and actually seeking some advice from whoever it is you feel comfortable with, like somebody at the gym or a doctor, something like that, who will advise you on what to do and what steps you can take to improve your muscle mass. And it's something I think that you should be doing quite a lot younger than I decided to do something, because that way you've formed a habit and you're making sure that your body is functioning as it should, and not like me, wait to getting to the point where you're scratching your head and saying, what's happening to me? And then trying to reduce the effects that have been going on for some time. The loss of muscle loss has some far-reaching effects. Actually, it helps in your mobility around the home, having good strength in your muscles. It would certainly, in my opinion, have a lot of benefit for not tripping, falling, which we as seniors do tend to do a bit more often, because if you've got that confidence, because you've got that strength in your legs in particular, then when you're walking and you're stumbling over, a broken surface, you're going to be better able to right yourself and avoid a fall, and that's what we don't want. We don't want those falls. The next thing I want to talk about is getting tired by 4 o'clock. It's like the witch's hour, isn't it? 4 o'clock. Years ago, in our family, none of us could ring my mum after 4 because she was always grumpy, irritable, and you weren't going to get the best from her if you were ringing her to ask her for a recipe or something. She wasn't interested. So we learned to ring her just after lunch. Was a good spot, because she'd just had her lunch and she was sitting peacefully, quietly, and she was more than happy to talk to us and give us any wisdom that she had to give us. So yes, getting tired by 4 o'clock. The thing is, you need to pace yourself so that anything that's going to need quite a bit of physical activity, you want to do first thing in the morning while you're fit. Yes, you've just got out of bed, had your breakfast, and you're rearing to go. That's your peak time. Don't let it go. Don't waste it. Don't waste it sitting reading a book. That's the time to be actually getting any jobs done that require a fair bit of physical effort. And then by lunchtime, that's when I find I'm starting to slow down a bit, and then by the time I've had lunch and I'm sitting down, that's when I want to do something quiet. So I'll do any bookkeeping work or whatever I need that's just sitting quiet, reading, writing, anything like that, even arts and crafts, something that's just rewarding and not taxing, and you get some pleasure from it. Because by 4 o'clock you're really starting to flag. Well, I know I am. I've really had it by 4 o'clock. So that's why I prefer to have lunch. If I'm going to make anything, I'll do it then. And then even if I cook my dinner and have it later, just reheating it, because that way I've just got to reheat my dinner and do those dishes. Because, as I say, living in this van, I can't leave things laying about after dinner. I have to pop up and get it all done straight away, because otherwise it's I'm really getting grumpy by then. Yes, the trouble with the mind, it's only 20 years old and always will be. Let's face it, it never gets old. But the body is vintage and requires a little bit more care. So you can't run it like a Ferrari. You have to just realise that your 20-year-old mind has to just take a little bit of pressure off that accelerator and just slow down a little bit. So if you see the elderly out late at night, don't approach them. Or if you do, be very careful. They shouldn't be out late at night. I'm just looking outside and it's it's already getting dark. My little lamp, I'll show it to you. Oh, see? It's just a clip. Oh, I think it's great. And you just touch the button, just lightly touch it, and it changes from either a warm glow or to a brighter light. You know, the white light, which not that fond of, but anyway. Um, yeah, about sidetracked about my lights. So the main thing is though with getting old is to take good care of yourself. And some days you're just going to get up and you're going to feel off. I had a couple of days this week where I just felt incredibly tired. And, you know, the natural trigger is to go, like I said before, what's gone wrong now? You know, what am I going to die of now? So you've just got to rest. That's what I found, is just rest, because I've for many years pushed myself too hard. I've like I was just saying about being a 20-year-old mind, you just are so used to working at that pace that you forget that your body is just not able to go at that pace anymore. So I spent a couple of days just laying around, and the other night I slept for 12 hours. I know, 12 hours. But boy, did I feel good when I woke up. So you do have to listen to your body more, and just, you know, if you can't get the jobs that you had planned today done, nothing serious is going to happen if you leave them till the next day. Well, not usually anyway. So yes, my advice is to just spoil yourself. Take it easy some days and just do nothing. You know, you're allowed to do nothing. I had to turn another light on. I'm sitting here in the dark. So really, it's really important to take good care of your body, and it will take good care of you. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was not being invisible. Now, what I mean by that is that quite often older folk are just taken for granted and ignored in a queue, you know, of people in a shop. It's the pushy ones who go out ahead and get served first, and the older person's not so pushy and just becomes invisible to all those around them unless they stand out from the crowd. And the way you can do that, I feel, is by wearing a little bit of makeup. Not you men, I don't mean that for you, but for women. Don't be afraid to put on some makeup, style your hair, dress fashionably. And you men, you can certainly do something about your appearance. And we've all got the ability, we've all got good features and good points that we can enhance. And don't neglect that. You know, just smarten yourself up, put on something nice, because not only does it make you feel good about yourself, but others notice, and you'll notice that you'll walk a little different. You'll walk a little bit more confidently, especially if you've done those lunges. But it is something that we can tend to neglect as we get older and not bother, because it just seems like too much effort. Well, I assure you it's not. It's really important to feel good about yourself, and you'll be rewarded because, you know, we'll look pretty snazzy when we go out and people will compliment us. And we all need some compliments now and again, don't we? So just because we've aged, we can still have, and we do still have, value and worth, and we have experience that we can pass on to others. Well, I suppose you can hear the rain on the roof, and it's getting darker and darker, so I think I better finish this up. Look at it. So yeah, the bottom line is, as we grow old, don't let us just fade away into the shadow. Let's not be invisible. Let us take pride in ourselves and enjoy life to the fullest, and find out when these things go wrong with us what they really are. Don't fester on them and worry about them like I sometimes am guilty of doing, but become a fashionable go-getter and enjoy life most of all, because that's what it's all about. So lovely to talk to you again, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.